Hi, everybody. I'm Sunny, and this is We Gotta Talk, a live weekly digital talk show and podcast where we like to dig deep. Real talk, big topics. Now, let's dig in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of We Gotta Talk. If you're watching live, this is going to be good. This is a very visual episode. So if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you go back and check out youtube.com/sunnyavada or check us out on Facebook, because my guest and I today are going to be showing off some things that we really love ahead of the holiday season, because this is a time for gifting. Yay. So this week's guest is a fitness expert, a mom of two. She is a soon-to-be podcast host, and she is just an all-around gorgeous person on the inside and out. Oh, and she's the founder of a major supplement and health company as well. Christine Bullock was on the show last year. We did some fitness routines, hey girl, with you live, and I sweated my ass off within probably 45 seconds of holding that first plank. So I'm glad we're like chilling for this time.
Honestly, me too this year.
Oh my goodness. How have you been?
I've been wonderful. I mean, that year just flew by. Yeah, I think I had just had a baby kind of, when I saw you last, and now she's 1.5 and ruling the school. We have that 4.5-year-old. And so we're just going with the flow here.
With the flow. There are no rules in parenting. So 2 girls, right?
We have 2 little girls. Yeah. God bless us.
I know, right? I was going to say, how is that dynamic? I know that dynamic, but for anyone out there who might have just boys, like, please tell us. There's a very special thing about sister pairs, and there's also like very high intensity emotions involved, right?
Yeah. You know what? They're good so far. I feel like my older daughter is just starting to have an interest in my younger one, because they're just starting to hold hands. Like, the little one is just at that age. But I have to say my older daughter has actually been very, very good. I mean, there's the stealing of the toys for sure. But other than that, she's really good with her little sister.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a rude question to ask? Are you guys going to have more children? Is that in the picture?
No, it's not rude at all. I mean, okay. I'll be 40 in 1 month. And so, but I think the good thing is I'm not scared of my age. I know so many women out here in Los Angeles who have children in their 40s, but I'm only going to give it a year after 40. I didn't want to have one to celebrate my 40th. So I was like, no, don't worry. But then after that, I think we have a year. We kind of talk about it back and forth, because we're finally at a good stage. Like, Remy can buckle her own seatbelt in her safety seat. Like, that happened yesterday. We were like, yes, it's just hard. The baby stage is hard. So we'll leave it up to the universe a little bit, but I'd like one more to torture me for sure.
3 is a magical number. It's just enough to like feel like a big family, but it's not overwhelming. So
yeah,
huge fan of 3 over here. You mentioned, and I think maybe I did mention at the top of the podcast, Christine is based in LA. She does all of her work on the West Coast, but as we covered in the first episode when we interviewed her last year, she's originally from Pittsburgh. And Christine, we were talking off camera, or like before we started recording here, about like I want your opinion on this. The difference in the East Coast / Midwest person versus living in LA, because from Pittsburgh, we're very salt of the earth, grounded people, and you're in a totally different world now. You and your husband, who are both Pittsburgh natives. So how has that been?
Yes. Yeah. Funny enough, I mean, we actually hang out with a lot of Pittsburgh people here. I met my husband here. I walked into a bar in like 3 months, didn't know anybody when I moved here, met my husband. And then we ended up moving out our whole family. So my mom lives with us now. His dad lives in our old house down the street. His brothers and sister all live down like 30 minutes away from us. And then our friends too. A lot of our friends are from the East Coast, but so we still kind of surround ourselves with that. I would say there's not actually a lot of people from Los Angeles. The people that move here for the quick fame, the quick this, the quick that, what do I say? I'll be really blunt. It can be a superficial city, but I'm also going to top that off with the people that are from Los Angeles. There's so much hard work here. There's so much creativity. There's so much belief that you can do anything that you want to do, and you have to put some time and hard work into that. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the Kardashians work very hard. They're nonstop working, So it's like, I love all the opportunity and the creativity and the networking here. I absolutely love it. But I also love to surround myself with very real people. My friends are real and they're down to earth. I think anywhere you go, I feel very lucky to have found that circle here for myself.
And let's be honest, there's no way you're going back to the city where we only average 90 days of sunshine a year in Pittsburgh.
No way.
I
No
moved to
way.
Florida and I was like, this is what it feels like to have natural, bright
I remember, somebody from San Diego, I dated back in Pittsburgh, and he would complain all the time about how great it was. And I felt like he was complaining about my city. And I'm like, just, so then I move here and I'm like, oh, get that. He'd be like, I'm so depressed. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I had this friend in
I
college.
don't know how we did it. Yeah.
She was like, I have seasonal affective disorder. I'm like, bitch, what is that even?
Yeah.
We grew up in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it. And I'm really sorry.
I know.
That's not a knock on anybody who experiences sad.
Yes.
Okay? It's just that we're just trying to say we're like hardy, tough people. Okay.
Yeah, really? We're like lumberjacks.
That's right. You're like the tiniest lumberjack in the history of people. I mentioned this at the top of the show too, but I want to talk a little bit about fitness this year. So guys, Christine is a fitness expert. You have a background in ballet and dance, but you right now have your own library of just these amazing fitness videos, things you can do at home. But you also have Kayo, which is am I calling it the right thing? A health and supplement company?
I loved it, actually.
Care?
Yeah. Body care. Yeah. We're complete body wellness.
Okay.
Inside, outside.
Yes, I love it. And we're going to go through our favorite products for Kayo, guys. We also have some great discount codes. So please do stick around for that. We're going to go through all the beauty and fun stuff at the end of the show. But this is the time of year, Christine, where people begin to gather. We have tons of parties, social events. We're drinking a lot. We're eating a lot. We're probably, if people follow a strict diet or if they like to stay within certain boundaries during the year, this is the year when we kind of let it go a little bit. So as someone whose job it is all the time to be in shape and to show people how to be in shape, how do you approach the holiday season?
I mean, so health and wellness is a lifestyle choice for me. I've done the kind of ups and downs where I've dropped off completely during the holidays, and then you have to make up for it. Or on a vacation, you're like fully like, let's go. I worked so hard. I'm so clean sometimes during other seasons that I would completely go off. So now I found that through the years, it's just better to have balance all year round. So, during a regular part of the year, I'll eat super clean all week long. I typically don't drink alcohol because it makes me too sleepy and I got to manage, the family, the business, all that. And then I have a couple cocktails on the weekend and maybe one bad meal or one cheat meal, as you call it, during the weekends, but I eat clean still the other meals. So it's pretty much, it's the same thing on the holidays, but I do have some tips. Somebody already dropped off an apple pie like this big to my house. And I'm like, don't eat it yet. Just wait till Thanksgiving at least, right? But I've been taking the bites of it. But I live a dairy-free, I live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle in the sense of diet. Okay.
Yeah.
And
tell us what that means specifically, because
Yeah.
I know that everybody has different sort of allergens, triggers, things for them, but there are some really great general rules of thumb if we want to avoid inflammation.
Yes.
So tell us what that looks like.
Inflammation is what causes every disease that we have. It ages us. It causes wrinkles. It, loses the collagen and elastin. Your hair falls out from it. So we really need to reduce inflammation. It's the biggest key, I think, in diet, whether you're keto, this, low inflammatory foods. So the top 4 inflammatory foods are dairy. They are different types of oils like soybean oil, grapeseed oil, or sunflower oil, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, a couple others. It's gluten. So any kind of wheat products, grains, all that kind of stuff. And then corn. Corn is in there too. And then I skip eggs too. It's another inflammatory. And that's what I do all season long. But my digestion is so much better as well from that. So I'm not necessarily allergic to gluten, but I don't feel great. I don't process it well. Or dairy, I have an allergic reaction to it. I have since I was a kid. So I just feel better. And I honestly, it does improve your beauty, all of that kind of stuff.
It makes me sad that eggs are part of that. That is my one thing that I just love, especially when I'm hungover. I'm not hungover much these days.
Oh yeah.
Twice a year, maybe, but cheesy eggs with toast, how do you?
Me too. That's the one time. I know. Me too. It's the one time. People joke with me all the time. They're like, your hungover meal is like an avocado toast with egg on it. And I eat that every day for breakfast. The other person eats that every day. I'm like, that's my hungover meal.
So wait, walk us through a day then. I would love to hear what is typically, on your menu for the day, assuming too that you're in the kitchen preparing for kids too. So you have to kind of do you do separate meals for you versus them? How does it all look?
No, sometimes for breakfast for sure. So I do intermittent fasting. This is another huge tip for the holidays, I think. So intermittent fasting is 12 12 to 16 hours, and you can build up to that of fasting. Why this is so important, especially during the holidays, is we eat these other foods. We eat a lot more sugars. We eat more inflammatory foods. So our body needs more time to repair. So that means the longer that you can go, whether if it's a weekday and you're not eating super late, so you can stop eating at 5 or 6, depending on your bedtime, then you can eat a little earlier in the morning. Or if you're at a late night event and you're drinking and you're eating, then you want to push breakfast a little bit later. What that does, especially while you're sleeping and why you do it at night, obviously, is that it allows the body to repair, to digest, and to expel all the toxins out of your body. It allows that cellular repair. And it is great for weight and all of that because you really only have time, like a window for maybe 2 meals. You can fit 3 small meals or you can fit like 2 meals in there. So it helps to limit. Sometimes I think, I mean, at least I'm this way. I have no self-control, although it does sound like I have a lot of self-control. My husband and I, if it's like in the house, like this apple pie, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to snack on it. And so that kind of allows a lesser window for you to just, you know how it feels when you start going, you're like, I give up for the day. And then I give up for the weekend. And then I give up for the week. And then you give up for the whole holiday season, right? So it's like that little restart and reset in the morning. So back to it. I feed my kids breakfast. I make them breakfast. And then I drink my coffee in the morning. I drink our Kayo powdered greens. It's 25 superfoods in there that are very cleansing for the system. I pour my Skin Perfect collagen in there that has hyaluronic acid and ceramides, trace minerals, really good things for the skin too. Pour them together. I drink them up in the morning. And then I usually fast till about 11 or 12. I listen to my body. If I'm super hungry, I'll eat earlier, but I love to do that. I feel more energy too.
And what does lunch look like?
Lunch is either I have an early smoothie, so that'll be like my breakfast, or I go straight to lunch, and it's typically high protein. I eat animal fish protein. I was once a vegan, but I eat a plant-based diet. So I do love to have animal fish. I feel better sustained energy for myself. And then I add in some steamed veggies or soup, whatever it may be. We always have, we're very much a meal planners. So I have tons of different kinds of steamed veggies in our refrigerator. We have noodles for the kids, so we can add it in. We always have like a tuna salad or a chicken or beef. We actually have all 3 in there right now. And we have vegan cheeses. Violife is my favorite, Violife. And I think it's their mature cheddar. It's regular cheddar or mature cheddar. It's like, I'm kind of addicted to it. I ate a piece of that every day during my pregnancy. But it tastes so good. We have it shredded so we can put it on there. So we have like replacements for dairy. And I mean, I even have like, different replacements for noodle, like glass noodles and, gluten-free noodles, all that kind of stuff. Or maybe I'll have like a rice cake with tuna on it with some veggies on the side. And then same thing for dinner. We'll do the same thing for dinner. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I need to get onto meal planning. I hear people, especially parents, just talk about how much easier it makes things. And hearing you say like steaming at the beginning of the week, getting your vegetables in the fridge, having them ready to mix, like that's the key thing because
rice,
I just feel like I'm always short on time.
Potatoes. Yeah. We have purple potatoes in there right now, which are sweet. They have hyaluronic acid in them. So they're so good for the skin. And it's like, I usually do that Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, just a little bit more Thursday, because we'll eat out, we'll go out as a family. So I don't have to do as much. But if I don't have it, it's really for me. And then, obviously I'm thinking about my kids, but they're happy with anything. If I don't have that protein and those veggies, then I'm not going to feel great for them, during the week and the weekend and all that.
It's interesting you talk about listening to your body. I fully eat everything. I mean, I'm not huge on red meat, but I have noticed so much more of an elevated mood, sustained energy when I listen to my body and I lead with that, especially when it comes to meats. I know there are certain times of the month where I personally crave a red meat, or I crave, a certain type of seafood. It's like I need that fatty acid or something. Do you like marry the intuition with the, the info and knowledge from the doctors? Like, what advice do you have for people who are hearing about the benefits of a certain type of diet, but then they're just like, it just doesn't feel right when I try to eat that way?
So that's so, it is absolutely key, even when we're talking about inflammation. So maybe eggs aren't inflammatory for you. And for some people, maybe, additional inflammatory foods like beans, nuts, all the seeds, all these healthy foods can be inflammatory for us. So for people that are vegan, sometimes going full anti-inflammatory is very hard. But what you do is you kind of listen to it. When you're trying to see what's inflammatory for you, you cut everything from your diet, all these inflammatory foods for about 8 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, depending. And then you start re-entering certain things to find what causes inflammation for you. So it's always about listening to what works for you. I mean, I remember one time when I had some of my food allergies tested and I was allergic to like asparagus at that time and maybe artichokes peas it was. And funny enough, I never liked eating those two at that time because sometimes our allergies change because I would always get a little bit of a digestive issue with it. So we just kind of tune into our body because healthy things can also, at a moment in time when I had a lot of inflammation at that time in my body, because I was working out too much, causes inflammation too, and as a fitness instructor. And, I just had to kind of cut everything back, get my body in tune and then start re-entering things. And now I can eat them totally fine.
I know you're a fan of functional medicine, as am I. Integrative medicine, the holistic approach to, living a healthy lifestyle, plus doing any symptom treating the traditional Western way. So I love that, the benefits of holistic medicine in general. A big thing in those practices is taking labs or tests that kind of tell you the status of, say, your hormone levels or your allergies, like you mentioned, food allergies. What are some at-home tests that you have liked that have told you more about where your health stands? It could be something that was recommended by a doctor or something that you did on your own, a gut panel, anything that you can suggest to people who can find out or how they can find out what's happening inside.
Honestly, just tuning in. I have tried the at-home stuff and I don't think it's as great. I think there's Viome has a gut test. I've never actually, I have it sitting in here and I've never actually used it. So I think that's a good basic one to see where your bacteria levels are at. I've had so many throughout the years. I kind of always tune in because we can have allergies. For instance, I've been allergic to dairy since I was a kid, but some things kind of come and go, like the asparagus. So it can change. But I will tell you, like, the best ones I've ever had that tell me like where my omega level's at, where my gut bacteria is at. Really, they cost a little bit more and they're through a professional if you really want to go and see. But funny enough, most of them actually just told me what should be common sense. Like I could feel that I was having issues digesting that kind of stuff. So I should have cut it for a while. I get for sure issues with dairy, with eggs. Like I can't eat them. What else? When you're eating too much sugar, I mean, this is a really good holiday tip, to be perfectly honest. If you want to know about your gut bacteria, if you're craving sugar, if you are unfocused, it feels like you can't remember why you're walking into a room or what you're writing or what your next task is. If it's like you feel tired as soon as you wake up, I mean, some of this has to do with hormones too, but when you're like, I need a sweet treat after every meal or a glass of wine or a piece of bread, because that is also a carbohydrate and turns to sugar in your body. When you have acne, eczema, all this kind of stuff, typically it's a sign that we have an overgrowth of bad bacteria. And so we just want to basically cut that bacteria down. And what I like to do through the holidays is I drink a little bit more of my anti-candida, as we call the bacteria tea. You can buy candida bark, from Amazon, from Etsy. Make sure it's the inner bark only. That's the strong stuff. I don't do the tea bags. I actually do the fresh bark, so I can make it very dark and effective, and I have to drink less of it. That helps to cut down the bad bacteria. Amazingly enough, you'll actually see that you don't crave the sweets and the sugars anymore. You may crave salty instead. And that's when you start to know your focus will be back, your skin conditions, it really helps. So that's a key. I just kind of up that during the holidays to prevent the overgrowth, because we're eating more cookies and sugars and breads and all that kind of stuff. Wine.
Okay. I need to mark that down. That was what kind of tea? What kind of bark tea again?
Pau d'Arco. It's P-A-U, and then the next word is D'_A-R-C-O.
We'll put that in show notes, guys. That is a tip I didn't know. I will say one thing. I'm curious if you've done this too, that has made the most impact on my levels of energy and just my state of mind and mood has been like knowing where my hormones are at. It is not fair how much they dictate our mental health and well-being as women. Have you like gone down that route yet? And have you had any benefits from like paying attention to your hormones?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Because I've had my hormones have been off for so many years and I didn't know it. So I had a low thyroid. I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can fluctuate your hormones a lot too. I had infertility. I think we talked about it in the last podcast for many years because of my hormones. And I feel like low energy. When you're feeling that way, you reach for more bad foods and it is a cycle, it just starts going down, 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 down. And you have to lift yourself up like with foods and obviously the doctors and the hormones. So for me, at that point, the foods and the fitness really helped to improve and balance my hormones. I was much younger at that point, though. It was like 10 years ago. So even 5 years ago. And now when I got close to my 40s, I went to see a hormone doctor here in Los Angeles who's amazing, Dr. Chris Asandra. And we interviewed him on a future podcast we're launching in the new year, all about this kind of stuff. And typically women as we age have lower testosterone. That's one thing. Sometimes all of our hormones drop. But testosterone is the key to energy, to sex drive, to even healthy skin, collagen formation, all of that kind of stuff, muscle mass. And that's even like, just for women, it doesn't have to be, major bulk muscle mass. It could be lean muscle mass, but you're working so hard. And with just literally, spinning your wheels on that cycle, on your Soul Cycle or Peloton or whatever, if you keep burning the muscle and you can't build it, it actually affects your metabolism and you'll gain more weight. We need muscle for our metabolism. So it is key in everything we do. And then what he does is he measures you get a little bioidentical testosterone pellet and based on your level of how much you need. And then they just you continue to go in and they test where it's at. And then you replace it, I think like every 6 months or so. It made a major difference for me the first time I did it. And now I feel like it's just kind of boosted and help. It doesn't affect your other hormones at all. It doesn't make it drop or produce less because it is bioidentical, which is great. And I think they have other hormones too, like, if you needed anything else.
Yeah, I just got on a very, very micro dose of a testosterone, bioidentical too. And I was kind of like, oh, am I going to grow a beard? I don't know why women don't talk about this more because there was some, I don't know, I don't want to say shame associated with it, but as a woman, there's so much to keep track of. And frequently our focus is on people around us and we're not taking care of ourselves and we're not paying attention to our energy or our health. And I agree. I just want to second that in the biggest way, that paying attention to hormones, getting them regularly tested and getting with a doctor who can give you your own best plan. It's life-changing. I'm embarrassed at how little I knew about hormones until maybe 5 years ago. And I just like anyone, if you are a woman listening to this podcast from 20 to 70, I'm not saying you need to supplement or change anything, but please, please, please find out what your levels are. Get with a doctor who can give you a great idea, because just like Christine said, I feel like that was one of the biggest drivers in my mood boosting recently. My energy was addressing that in a real way.
I was going to say, even, yes, like you said, 20s, but it's you can still be off, especially with people's diets nowadays and what your parents were maybe feeding you, just by chance and they didn't know even when they were younger. It's going to affect your hormones even in your 20s. And let's say you're dealing with depression or anxiety, all this stuff. It's a major driver of those things, but especially as you age, it's our energy levels. Like I said, the sex drive for me, I was like, this is not me normally, and I got that testosterone pellet and I was like, yes, I'm back.
Taking it around the house. They love it.
It only helps. It helps your family that way too.
Yes. There we go.
Build it, I guess.
So down. Yes. No, I love that you're being candid about this. I have really been wanting to talk about this in a more in-depth way, but we get embarrassed. We say, oh my God, I'm getting older. I feel like everything should automatically take care of itself. No, sometimes you need a boost or you need help to address other specific parts of your health. It's vital that you pay attention to that because it's huge. Anyway, I love your honesty about that.
Agreed. I agree.
Let's talk quickly about fitness before we get into our beauty favorites. You are known for really, really, I don't want to say too quick, but shorter format, just butt blasting, make your butt burn and your every other muscle burn workouts that you put on social media, YouTube, Instagram. Tell us about some quick ways that we can insert fitness or a quick fitness routine into the holidays. A lot of us will be at home a little bit more, so maybe we can grab, say, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon. How do we break down our workouts to make them work for us when we're at home during the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I'll say I completely understand. I mean, I used to be in fitness and people be like, well, it's so easy. You're teaching or you're this or you're that. And, don't have any children. Yeah, I get it now. Like, yeah, it is harder once you have kids. And so I have two little ones. They're in and out of school right now. I'm managing a global business. I have like no time and I love my sleep. So one thing is, I mean, you can wake up early. So maybe once or twice a week, I will cut my sleep a little bit and I will wake up early. And my kids wake up at 6. So that means I got to wake up at like 5:15 or 5 to actually get my butt out of bed and get in maybe a 15 to 30 minute workout by the time I have coffee. So I don't recommend always cutting your sleep, but obviously if you get it done before you start your day, and even if it's 20 to 30 minutes, you've got something you've increased your metabolism. Honestly, I feel better. I'm more focused those days. I feel great. I'm just a little bit more tired in the evenings from waking up early. So, can't be one of those nights where you have like a holiday event potentially. Or maybe it is, and at least you got your fitness in and you're happy about it. On the other side of it, I try and fit it in. Maybe I make the kids breakfast, get her off to school, maybe have an early meeting, maybe don't, but then I get in 10 to 20 minutes as well. Another thing too, in the evening when I'm with my kids again, I'll be doing some like bridge lift, tricep presses off of the sofa, some plank holds, and they're sitting on me. I try to incorporate them, and it's not even a full workout because I could stop and have to grab something for them or chase my little one, make sure she's not getting hurt, and then come back to it, do a couple again. So I think you just kind of fit it in where you can, and it doesn't have to be a full 60 minutes. I've always been like, we launched Evolution 20 a long time ago on DVD and an app and stuff, and they were always 20-minute workouts. I have workouts on the FitOn app. FitOn app is actually rated, it's like one of the largest apps on Apple right now, bigger than Peloton and everything. More 5-star reviews, and it's absolutely free, people. It's free. And there's so many awesome trainers on it with all sorts of different kinds of workouts. And then we have a bunch of workouts on Brooke Burke Body. And, if you've seen her recently, she just turned 50. I'm turning 40 this year. And so I love teaming up with her. We're like the 2 different decades. And she has amazing stuff. She's launching her holiday, 5. I think it's just 5 workouts, 5 tips, 5 this, 5 that. And you can use the code Kayo Body with that and get the first month free, KAYOBODY. And so I just feel like, and if you have an app too, and maybe just plan which workout you want to do the night before. So you wake up, you don't have to think about it throughout the day, because sometimes that can take 20 minutes because you're so indecisive, and then you've lost your workout.
God, that's so true. I was on the Peloton.
I do like somebody else.
And I was do I do arms? Yeah. Do I not do arms? The kids are throwing crap all over them. I'm just oh my God, I need to just hit start on something and get going.
Something, right? And then you're like, I didn't like this one. Oh you know what I mean? You're like, yes. Yeah, sometimes you're just in that mood. But I do recommend, even as a trainer myself, I like somebody else to tell me what to do, because it's the one moment I have where I don't want to think. I want somebody else to tell me. So I even love to use apps as well.
That's funny. That's me every night at dinner. When on the nights when we are not cooking, Andrew's like, what do you want to do for dinner? Any thoughts? And I'm like, no thoughts. I'm decided out for the day. I'm picking everything for 4 humans, myself and 3 kids. It is such a joy to me to turn over control on anything. So workouts.
It's so funny. That's me too.
I hate it
too. I'm like, plan this. You do it.
Oh my God, it's horrible. You know that scene in The Notebook where he's like, what do you want? He sends me that GIF every time for dinner. And I'm like, I can't pick. Just seriously, I would sit there and just have someone feed me if I could. I'm done, decided. I don't care if I'm eating liquid concrete. Just don't make me pick anything.
Even when I go out to eat, I just ask the waiter what they like, and then I get that.
Andrew's like, why do you ask the waiter what their favorite thing is every time?
Yes,
I'm like,
I do that too.
So I'm like, I want to know, because maybe I won't have to make another decision. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so last night when we were chatting via email, I kind of threw this on you, but I love your whole vibe, and I know that you're a beauty junkie, just like so many of us too. And I was like, gosh, we need to include this in the show tomorrow. So we're talking about beauty favorites, and this can be something, whether it's a device, a skincare product, a makeup product, anything that you use that makes you feel better, feel more beautiful, anything that's had a great, shown a great result for you. So I brought a couple things too. Guys, I'm going to do a whole separate episode on skincare devices. So I'm going to show one off today, but I really want to know what's in your makeup bag, Christine, and what you live by. So let's start with you with product number one of your faves.
Okay, I mean, I have so many, I don't even know where to start. One of my faves is the NuFace. I've been using this for years. I know Tara, the founder of this, and she's an amazing mom. You have two little girls too,
Okay.
actually.
And it works.
And no, it absolutely works. Her mom was an esthetician too, and I think was one of the first people to bring microcurrent here. And funny enough, so one of my old jobs was microcurrent machines, and I used to sell them globally and then put them in spas and set them up. So and train doctors in microcurrent. So I know a lot about it. And so when I say this is the one that you want, I've tried them all on the market, like the ones that you can have at home. This is the strongest one for at home use. And I highly recommend it in spa too. They are always a little bit stronger because of the technology. But it's so easy. I actually used it this morning a bit, and just because I felt like a little swollen. And so I just take it. It'll help with it swelling. And you just take outer motions. You can do this in bed at night. This is like skin fitness, as we call it. Do a little lifting. It's going to help to like retonify the muscle too, and train it, the fiber, to go upwards instead of starting to kind of sag downwards. Honestly, my lips, this is how I get my lips so plump. And everyone's always like, you have fillers. I don't. All you have to do, I have like the best trick. So anybody that's listening to this actually has to go to the video. So this is what I learned, and I used to train like 10 years ago. You lift the muscle here. So let's say you do get fillers, and we used to hear of women getting the duck lips. What happens at why our lips get smaller as we age is this muscle falls, which actually makes the lip turn in on the bottom too. And then they fill it. So they just get these like duck lips. So instead, what you want is youthful lips. And so you take this, you lift the muscle number one, and you can see in the video, like, see how plump my lips get. I just
Oh yeah, it lifts it right up. And how long do you hold it?
You take it down on the bottom and you lift it here too, and lift it here. And look, that's going to tonify the muscle and get that pouty lip. And then you can just hold it over your lip too, to just do like an instant plumping of the lines and the hydration and all of that. This is what I've used for years to plump my lips.
Okay, so two questions here. How frequently do you use that? Every week?
Honestly, even if you use, they have a challenge going right now, like 5 minutes a day, and it's crazy. Their before and afters that they have, 5 minutes a day, especially if you have fine lines, tonifying, dark circles, all that kind of stuff. It brings blood flow and oxygen. Blood flow and oxygen are like even better than skincare, to be perfectly honest. They're going to be more healing, but I use it maybe once a week. I have that time where I sit in bed, because I'll show you some of my other tools. So I mix them up, and it's like I barely have time to eat. So
that's how I feel. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what? I'm a skincare product junkie, but devices have been my most favorite thing to dabble in lately, because I find I'm, very honest about getting Botox and occasional fillers as well, because of course, why wouldn't, whatever. No, this is no judgment zone. But I feel like they extend the life of my healthy skin. So if I'm getting, whether it's a facial I'm getting, or even Botox or something that's sort of plumping the skin, it's in a professional way, this like extends the life of it. So yes,
it is. You're right. It's so important. I mean, we see it. So one of my jobs was working with plastic surgeons, and we had fillers and facelifting devices. So we used to, I know a lot about that too. Fillers, I mean, and Botox, everything's going to thin around it. And we think about that even on our body too, like the skin starts to thin. So we have to internally with nutrients and externally with devices and skincare, take care of the quality of our skin, keep the collagen, elastin, the ceramide level, healthy as well. So, we prevent like skin disorders and all of that, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis. I mean, and just like, if the ladies that get, the tons of fillers, but their skin quality doesn't look good. So they looked aged anyway. You want a little bit of both.
Right. I have a device to show you.
A lot of
one.
Realized
it's in my other room. So give me like 10 seconds. Hold on. I'm going to walk over.
I'll start going over my other.
Yeah, go over your other one, because I really want to show you this if we're talking devices.
Okay. Actually talking, I mean, this one's kind of a device. It's a tool more so. I love the Kayo Guasha Comb. We can talk about the full body for this. And it's like a dry brush on steroids. So basically you want to comb the entire body. It takes just a few minutes. I mean, this is how fast I would do my arm. And then I'd start to go all the way up. It gets your lymphatics flowing. Your lymphatics are vital for you to look and feel good. It's going to boost your energy, boost your serotonin, boost your focus, but it's also going to boost all the blood flow and oxygen to your entire body. And that means that, like, let's say you put a product on first, it's going to increase the product's absorption. So you're getting more nutrients from your product. It's going to work better. But that blood flow and oxygen is going to go all the way, all over to your skin, to your legs, to your knees, wherever your concerns are, and really help to repair it. In addition, this is amazing if you have water retention on. We have more sleek lines without water retention. And so this is going to help to decrease, it gets your lymphatics going. So it helps to decrease all the water retention from those nights of drinking and stuff like that we have through the holidays. I just use this body tool on my face as well. And it's going to immediately sculpt too. So it's going to help lift like this microcurrent machine does, and get rid of the fluid in our face so that our face looks more tonified and lifted as well. It's going to help to retone the muscles so you can help to break up old hardened collagen elastin, which is what causes wrinkles. And even cellulite. So this is great. Old hardened collagen elastin is what cellulite is made of. It's a little fascia underneath, and it's like a dimple. So as you maneuver this, as you start to break it up, it's like taking out a knot in your hair. That's what that is. So you want to get the blood flow and oxygen first, and then you just want to make sure that you hydrate deeply, internal to external. So I add our internal collagen to that to really help to improve the formation and prevent the formation of collagen cellulite in the future too.
And how frequent is that? An every day, every night thing that you do, the gua sha?
Honestly, I do that probably every day to every other day. Like once in a while I'll skip if I'm on a run, but I love to do that. This is one that I can do so quickly on my face, even if it's like one full pass really quickly and through my neck. And then the body is probably like every 2 to 3 days. And I just do it right after. And it really doesn't take that much time, even just a little bit. Let's say I don't do it as detailed as I really want to, but I'm like just flying through. I try and fit it, or this will be a nighttime one too. And that's why I trade out and I decide to do in detail while I'm watching one of my shows, a full 15 minutes of this, go.
That's a good idea.
I actually sleep better.
That's awesome. Okay, I have to show you this. Now, this isn't about me, but since you're talking about devices, I want to show this because I know you're a skincare freak. So have you heard of Tripolar yet? It's like a radio frequency. Christine, you have to get this. Okay, so it's this is reflecting all over the place in the sunlight here. It's a handheld at-home radio frequency device. It looks like this, and at the bottom it has these 4 nodes, and it is heating your face. It's radio frequency, so it's heating your face at the deepest levels to stimulate collagen. I am reviewing this right now, and I have to say this is one of the tools that I've gotten in addition to my droplet, which I adore, that I feel like in 2 weeks' time has had such a drastic impact in the feel and look of my skin, because it's actually helping to stimulate growth. I saw it on Bag Snob, Tina Chen Craig. Yes. Okay. Right. So she was doing an ad for it a couple of months back. I finally ordered it. It is so good. And it's like a warm massage because this thing heats up. You put your conducting gel on your face after you've cleaned, and then you just hold it, not still, but just kind of so that all 4 nodes are touching your face, and you just kind of slowly go over. It is so relaxing, and I swear to you that my skin immediately plumps up. I think they say to do it 3 times a week for the first 2 months, and then switch off to something else. But it's on major sale too. I'll put the link in.
Oh yeah. I want to see that too. Yeah. The name too. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many things that they can bring home now. And here's the thing. Everything that you get in the medical office is always going to be stronger, and we should do this, but we need to be doing it in between as well. You want to be doing all of that, keep up in between as well.
Okay, perfect. Run us through some other favorites and
so
what else is on sale?
Light. So I have this guy, and I've tried every red light infrared face mask on the market. And honestly, none of them have really blown my mind. I don't even like the handheld ones. For me are a little small, and it's time consuming. I'd rather do something else. I like a full mask. This is higher doses infrared face mask, red light face mask. This is the best one I've ever experienced. It's so good. They just launched this actually. I've been using their infrared heat wrap. I've known the girls for years. And the quality of what they make, it works. It's so good. And it's like on their name. Like, when somebody is just like, I would not put something bad out there, and they're like science geeks as well. Actually, they were on our podcast too, that we're launching to talk about all of this, but this actually works. So this is another one that I'll trade out at nighttime while I'm watching. My poor husband's like sitting next to me and like, what is wrong with this lady?
Bob's like, don't murder me. That looks like a Jason mask.
It really does. This one really does, especially like with a nose. I put it on the other day, and I think I had this mark on my nose during the day. I put it on like super quick. I was like, oh man. But it really works. Red light helps to increase cellular renewal, cellular repair. It is it's like such a, and it's so easy. You can just sit there and watch TV with this on. I could sit and work with it on at my computer. So I love this. Everybody needs a red light for their face. It's so amazing. And I think we have a discount for that too. Yeah. Christine 75, CH, spelled CH. And that's $75 off your first order there. So they have a bunch of different.
Awesome. Okay, wait, quick question on Higher Dose, because they are the makers of like, do they do PEMF mats?
I have that too.
We need to talk about this. So that's like, I forget what it stands for. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Me
while
too.
we chat, but they have like a line of other. They have like the
totally learned it.
The sleeping bag blanket that's like heats up, like the sauna
infrared.
blanket.
So that's an infrared. That's
yes.
what I've had that for 5 years, maybe, since they launched, and it's amazing. I use that once to twice a week. Obviously not when you're pregnant, but I feel like postnatally, I was so excited to jump back in it. And I feel like it helped to repair my hormones. So it helps to balance your hormones. When I talked about the gua sha and your detoxing, what's great is that then you get to sweat all of those toxins out immediately that you got moving in your lymphatics, or broken them up from your fascia where we hold them, or broken them up from your fat. So you can break up hard fat. So let's say I have saddlebags and I'm combing at those saddlebags. You can never, it's like, I can't get that to this area to move, or in your belly. It's hard, stubborn fat. So you want to break it up. And then the great thing is you just start to heat it up, and it like helps to sweat out the toxins that are in there that make it so hard. And then as you start to do calorie burn, and, be careful with your consumption of calories too. So you start burning the fat, you start burning it in that stubborn area instead of just around in your other areas.
Ooh, I love that.
So I love it. And I feel good. It helps with my digestive system. I usually do it like a Sunday night after I've been drinking. So I just like start fresh in the morning. The PEMF mat, they just launched, and it is like an infrared technology too. It has a little heat. It's almost like a heating pad, but it's not like, you don't have to sweat, right? It's not like you're sitting in a big bag. So I put that on my bed, and I actually have been sitting on that every night. That helps to increase your cellular health, your ATP. That is your cellular energy. It's like everything that's vital for us to fully repair and recover. It improves sleep. I do get a better quality sleep. Like even if it's shorter, because I'm still up with a baby sometimes, it's a better quality sleep. I can't explain it. I still wake up more refreshed. And it just helps to repair. You don't feel much on it. I guess it maybe relaxes you. Like the first couple times I felt like more relaxed. You almost felt like high on it. And my husband used it too. Now I use it every single night. I just take it out and I sit on it in bed because we're about to watch TV or I'm going to read a book. And I just.
Right. And how long do you do it every night?
They have a couple different buttons on it for the PEMF. So I just go through the first 3 or 2. I mean, even if it's like 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah. I did that at the chiropractor several times. And I had, that same like, not a rush of energy, but I felt like, I felt good. So I'm sending that to Andrew and telling him
it's
to
very
buy it
cool
for
too.
me.
You can sit, the one I have is smaller, so I can actually work on it. I can sit on it too, because it can boost your energy. It's confusing, I feel like, for viewers when you say this is going to help you relax and boost your energy, like the Guasha Comb like this. But what happens is your body's just in a state of homeostasis. So if you need to go to sleep, you're actually going to sleep better. If you need a boost of energy and focus, it's going to, it helps you with that.
And we looked it up. Producer Rachel came to the rescue. It stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field, PEMF. So we'll check it out on Higher Dose, and we'll put that discount code up there as well. And I'm getting this for Christmas. So there you go, Andrew. I made a decision finally on something I want. Okay, let's do one more beauty product. Then we're going to round off with a little bit more chit chat and tell everybody what's happening next with you and your show. So show us one more product that you swear by.
Yeah, I feel like we need to talk about supplementation. There was a lot. I mean, I have so many different things here, but let's talk supplements because we really haven't yet. We have, I think there's two, and I want to hit upon these really quick because we talk beauty inside out. Let's say you are sneaking in more sweet treats, you're sneaking in all this stuff, you're eating less veggies. Well, here's your like salad and a drink basically, because let's just make sure at least you're having the balance where you are getting the nutrients, even though you're getting these other foods that are not so great. So our Vital Greens has 25 superfoods in them, and they're like rare things like organic oat grass, barley grass, wheatgrass, kale, lemon. There's 12 berries in this. So major antioxidants to make your skin look beautiful, repair, protect. We have an immune system, immune boosters in here. We have our curcumin that's wrapped in a patent pending delivery method, making it super effective. That's an anti-inflammatory in and of itself. Really good for your health, protecting against disease. We have reishi mushroom in here. We have like full omega complex and fiber from like hemp seed, chia seed, flax seed, all of that. And it tastes like berries. So my 1-year-old, my 4-year-old, like my 1-year-old was screaming at me this morning because I was drinking this. She like tugs on me and I'm like, let me just get a sip of my own drink first. They love it so much. And so it's a natural energy boost, great for skin, great for like a host gift, I feel like too, for the whole family to just as a thank you. And then one more thing too, like our bloat be gone. This stuff is freaking amazing. I've had digestive, system issues for a long time. And this is a combination of ingredients that all my naturopaths gave me, but I couldn't keep up with because it'd be like this tea and this, blah, 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 blah. So I put them all together in a powder, of course, because why would you want to take a pill if you're already have an upset tummy? And again, tastes like berries. It's delicious, but it has like fennel seed in it. It has, it has fennel, it has aloe, it has dandelion. Dandelion's a diuretic, going to help with a little water retention. Aloe is going to help you go to the bathroom. Fennel's going to help with the gas. The funny part is that like literally you start burping 10 minutes later if it's a gas issue, and your belly just goes down. It goes flat. It's crazy. And then we put in marshmallow root and L-theanine. Both are anti-inflammatories for the digestive system and increase the healthy cells in the lining of your digestive system. So this actually heals over time. When we launched it, I was in bad shape again from getting the COVID vaccine, which is an inflammatory. So it actually affected my digestive system the most. And I was like, oh God, thank goodness. And so I was taking this every single night. And now I'm down to like maybe taking it once a week, just as like a, precautionary, because I just don't get bloated. But I was getting like bloated off of every healthy thing that I would eat before. So this is amazing. And it's just like, it's the holiday season and you want to feel your best. So it's good to have a quick fix, but it's also great to have something that's actually healing over time too.
Do you guys have this episode's going to be out on Thanksgiving Day. So do you have anything that will be running currently as of that day through the weekend that we could share?
Yes. And it's actually all marked, thank goodness, online right now. So we have individual products that are 20% off. This one too will be on there. The Kayo Detox Mask to Scrub. This is a really nice hostess gift. It's a full body mask and scrub in one. Like you don't get like hostesses, like face care. That's very personal. I feel like, wine. Okay. We have like 1 million bottles of wine. We have 1 million cheese dishes and all that kind of, and desserts. Like what do you give? You're trying to give them like, a new workout program in the new year. So instead, I feel like they'll really appreciate like a bath product where they have a moment to themselves, fully scrub, fully mask, get all the nutrients for their, skin and just look fabulous through the holidays too. So we have that one on sale.
If anyone shows up at my door with any beauty product, you are welcome in. I will cook for you.
I know.
It's the best. I feel like that is always a great, great gift for a hostess, like a body product or something that like is indulgent for them in some way that they don't have to share. Okay. I'm really excited. Sorry. I'm like moving. If you guys are watching on the video or if you're listening on the podcast, I probably sound like I'm coming really close and going far away, but I'm sitting in my closet to record this and the sun is coming in. It's making me look like Two-Face. See that? the Batman villain. Okay, so tell us about your podcast, Christine. I'm really excited about this. What's it called and what's it all about?
Well, first I have to thank you because it's actually, because we teamed up last year, I started to ask you about it and your producer Rachel on this, like, can I do this? Like, do you guys do this from afar? And you did. So really, this is because of you. So thank you so much.
Yay, of course.
I'm super excited. The podcast is called Keep It Simple Sexy. And it's just about, I feel like, over 20 years, I've been in the health and beauty business. And There's so much confusing information out there, and there's a lot of information that sounds like it's overwhelming. It's difficult. It seems like you have to be so specific, and dare I say anal about these kind of things. And it's like, you don't. I've learned through all of my health conditions that there's a super happy balance, and there are ways to just fit health in, in the minimal ways. 20-minute workout, my salad in a jar, a little mini 5-minute face microcurrent session, whatever it is, we can fit these little things in to help balance out the apple pie that I ate last night, or whatever it is, the processed sugary foods and the stress levels that I have. And keep it simple, sexy. That's what it's about. Even our podcast is pretty short. We try and keep it around 30 minutes because, I barely have time to listen to a full one. And we just have the most amazing experts. I mean, we're going to launch January 28th, and just with my first little podcast. And then we'll launch with an episode with Brooke Burke telling us all of her secrets the 1st of January. And we're actually launching a fitness program at that time together. And so I'm just really excited for everybody here. With them, just doctors and experts, the girls who created Higher Dose, and they just know so much about infrared, to Tara from NuFace. And, it's like, you're going to want to tune in. So I think knowledge is power. When I understand why I should be doing something, it brings me back to it. So I may forget, and then I hear it again. Oh, why didn't I want to eat gluten? Because it's an inflammatory food. What does an inflammatory food do for me? I realize now, like, I understand in detail how it's aging me. And so I'm like, okay, I have more of a reason to cut it than just somebody saying gluten is bad for you.
Mm-hmm. You understand why it compels you to actually follow through when you know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really excited. I feel I'm just such a big fan of yours and all the work that you do. So I cannot wait to see what happens. Yeah. With the podcast. And I think we covered this a little bit over the course of the discussion about fitness, but tell us, Christine, before we go, where we can find you for the fitness stuff, and then where we can find you for Kayo and on social media as well.
Yeah, tons of workouts. So we still have some of my old school DVDs, which everybody still loves, Evolution 20 and Super Shred, on Amazon, on app as well. I have plenty of free workouts on the Fit On app, and also on Brooke Burke Body app too. We have a lot of workouts on there. We're launching the new program in the new year, which will be great. She has the code for the first month, which is Kayo Body, KAYOBODY, first month free. And yes, like tons on YouTube and stuff like that. But those are full workouts. So I would go to the apps for sure. And then Kayo Body Care, we actually have a blog on there with tons of recipes and informational pieces. We have our Black Friday sale going on starting tomorrow, or Black Friday probably. And just tons of wellness, tons of supplements and skincare. So you can take those little moments to take care of yourself. And yeah. And my social is at Christine Bullock.
Awesome. Christine, thank you so much for coming on the podcast again and sharing all of your secrets.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care. We'll see you soon. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening and or watching this episode of We Gotta Talk. I love Christine. Love everything she does, so make sure you follow her on social media. If you are listening to this on the podcast, please do me a favor. Give me an early Christmas gift, okay? It's free. It just takes a couple of minutes. Leave a rating and review. Those actually help so much to get this podcast out to people who might find it useful or interesting. Share it with a friend. That would mean so much to me. Thank you again so much for tuning in this week to We Gotta Talk. We'll be back next week with more goodness. Thanks again, guys, and have a great Thanksgiving.